Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by myself, Vulcan, and Attack Power.
Always happy to be here. Hope you're all having a great day.
In this video, we have for you game 1 of a best of 5 between Onord and Gonzo in the grand final of Season 8 of the Steel Division 2 League.
Woo!
Today they are playing on Kostritsa, and on our left in the red team we have Onord. On the allied side using the 3rd VDV and the Maverick deployment type. And on our right in the blue team we have Gonzo on the Axis side using the 26th Panzer and the Maverick deployment type. So we finally got here to the final.
It's quite a journey. Quite a journey, yeah. And it's nice. Best of 5 here, so we get lots of games to cast, I hope. Yeah, so Lord of the PTRS, this is Onord making a jab at the PTRS spam we have so prominently going on these days. Yes, good job Onord on that, because I hate PTRSs too. Although
he's going to be bringing them out on his 3rd VDV.
Yep. Although I will say I am not a fan of 3rd VDV. That's me personally. I know a lot of people absolutely adore this division. I just can't play a division that has only 100-meter range infantry, and I understand they have some of those DT dudes or whatever, but like I just can't. I just don't see how this division is ever very good, other than very specific maps in very specific situations. I'm not a fan of it. Again, I'm not saying it's bad, because there's really not any bad divisions left in the game. It's really just divisions that fit your playstyle and don't fit your playstyle for the most part. And this division does not fit my playstyle. 26th though, we've seen Gonzo play this before and play it quite well in this series of playoffs here. And this is one of my favorite divisions personally. I play it like crap. Gonzo makes it look way better than I do, but I think it's very strong. It's got a good... You don't have any significant weaknesses playing this deck at all. I would actually consider kind of an upgraded 20th Panzer personally, though 20th Panzer is different, but I think it's an upgrade on it personally.
Yeah, the 26th Panzer is kind of interesting for this map though, because it doesn't have a ton of close range infantry. It's got like the Pioneers, it's got the Stormtroopers, Berettas, but other than that, I don't believe it has much else. So the forest engagements will be a little bit of a struggle against 3rd VDV, but I have a big feeling here that Gonzo's more going to just play over this open ground. He's got these Guerrillas down. He's got the Stug M43 out again. Last time we saw the 26th.
Yeah, there he is again.
He bought that out, and he's done it again. Yeah.
And what's he like? What's he even planning to kill out of 30 VDV? A couple T-34s? like
it might just be because it's kind of cheap. I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Is it cheap?
It's probably also a bit of meme value there.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. My guess is Onord picked first and picks 3rd VDV, and you have to pick faction first. So he picked Allies, Gonzo picked Axis, then Onord picked 3rd VDV. And honestly, Gonzo was probably just like, there's no Axis division that's going to beat 3rd VDV in the woods. So he probably just said, screw it, and picked a division that has some okay CQC stuff, but is mostly an open area, like kind of division.
I don't know if that would be the case. Like, yeah. You got the Romanian divisions, you got the...
Well, if he... but Onord,
you got the Finnish divisions. Like...
Onord may have banned some of those. That is very possible, too. And I don't think I'd pick Rukram...
Possibly.
I wouldn't pick Rukma on this map. There's too much open space for that.
Rukma would counter 3rd VDV.
That's true, though. You're right. I don't know. I mean, I like 26th Panzer. I think it has all the tools you need, and I think you can... I don't think enough people play the open ground on this map. Like, if you play the open ground, you can really dominate this map very easily.
I would say that this map is actually more in favor of the open ground engagements than the close range engagements for the most part, just due to the layout of the flags.
Oh, yeah. And everyone always focuses on this forest up north, but the fact of the matter is, if you just pushed out the middle here, there is 1, 2, 3 flags that are very, very grabbable very early.
Yeah. And the amount of times we say, oh, he's pushed on the bottom, or like on the top in this case, and he hasn't grabbed any flags. Like,
you don't get anything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't get anything out of it.
All right. Well, the game's underway, so we'll quickly go through what's gone down. We've got the PTRS. We've got the Desanniki DT Stemaviki on the top side there. Moving into the town, a group of Stemaviki, Desanniki has some Faustniki with the OB.
What?
There's also the snipers and the PTRS. Yeah. Further down, more of the same snipers. Zis 2 in there with the Maxim snipers. On the bottom side, it's going to be Stemaviki and the Desan Komloti. On the side of Gonzo, he's gone for a bunch of Panzergrens into this top side for us, with the Panzergrens with Panzerfaust, Pack 40, MG42. He's got the Aufkladder heading to the middle, with some more Panzerfaust, MG42s. On the bottom side, going to be Pioneers, Pack 40, and then a couple of Grille and the M43. Although it changed one of the Grille to a Panzer 3L in the center there. In the middle, engagement's underway.
This is actually an abnormal number of like infantry for Gonzo. I don't feel like he usually brings this many at the start.
Transport snipe on the bottom side. PTRS picks up one of the Pioneer squad, so another PTRS moving right round the bottom. But in the middle, Panzergren's going to be catching out a lot of these Desant Niki at range. Will be doing a lot of damage, but a couple of the Desant, including the Sturmoviki, have got into the town in the middle. PTRS does go down. The PTRS on the bottom side is slowly making its way around the bottom side. IL-2 coming in for the bombing strike now. So much going on.
There is, yeah. This
infantry pushing in on the bottom side. There's the Pioneers there getting absolutely slammed and double surrounded. We've got the bombing strike coming in the middle. Helps pin down those Panzergrens, force them back. The Pioneer Fjorder goes down, takes away the veterancy from the Panzergrens. And on the bottom side, the Pack 40 just sniped that PTRS. Absolute savior. Grille taking out one of the infantry squads of Onord as well before it unloaded. So this has gone crazy, but it's put Onord in a pretty good map position so far.
Yeah, I mean, Onord's taken some great territory. He's pushed into the middle, which is where we wouldn't think he could take ground. Like, this is not where I would think Onord would be making all the progress, you know what I mean? He's chasing this Grille down with these Desaniki to try to unload and grenade the Grille immediately after it unloads. Oh no,
really,
oh
really
no,
cool.
oh no! Ah!
Yeah. It gets unloaded. Oh, Grille goes down. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Sturmoviki using the DT to kill the Pioneer for that, so the bottom side's almost entirely secure for Onord. This is just, he's blown the map wide open. 17-7 at the start here. I did not expect to see like all of this sort of light infantry at the start, particularly the Faustniki. I don't know where they come from.
Yeah, these are awful. Yeah, Faustniki are terrible because the bazooka, the Faustpatron, only does 8 damage, so it doesn't kill tanks in one shot for the most part, which is awful.
Yeah, it's a very strange choice. They do have the very good stealth, so that's like the one thing they've got going for them, but it doesn't really benefit much.
No.
Like the Sturmoviki, the Desaniki, you know, great stuff, but those squads, nah.
I mean, they have a DT machine gun. Maybe he just really wanted something for machine gun, like light machine gun power. That would be my only guess, honestly, because otherwise they're kind of useless. Now in the center, the Panzer. Sorry, go ahead.
Technically, you can get 2 DTs for 20 points, right? So I guess.
Yeah, that would be my only argument for why you'd use this unit. It's just such a strange choice. But anyway, in the center, Panzergrens wiping out a lot of these Desanikis. You can just see how powerful 2 MG42s are. It's easy to forget how good Panzer Grenadiers are until you watch them just mow down an opposing infantry unit, and you're like, oh yeah, these are really strong. This Pack 40. Pack 40 trying to run away from the Sturmovikis, finally caught out by the DT machine gun. And even with just 1 DT machine gun, a moving support weapon like that is going to take a ton of damage.
And 2 vet as well on the Sturmoviki there, although they're Focke-Wulf 190 coming in with the bombing strike. Is going to save the day, for the time being at least. Pins that unit down. M43 is engaging the T-34 in the center. Does get 1 penetration in there. Already out of 8 cheat shells, that M43 though. Oh, does go down. Trades for a T-34.
He did. Now, Gonzo did lose a Panzer IV in the center, which he really can't afford to lose. That Zis-2 took it down with no line of sight, I'd like to note. The lines of sight in the middle of this map are complete crap. Like, it says you can't see things, and you absolutely do see things. In the center, more territory being made by those Desaniki. This is where Onord wants them to be, is in these tight towns where the Panzergrens really can't take advantage of their MG42s.
There is always this line of sight, though. The Panzergrens there, forcing those Desaniki back. On the bottom side, it was funny, Gonzo was just using the Pack 40 to shoot the Sturmoviki after they were pinned down. IL-2, M3 coming in with the bombing strike, though, looking for the bombing strike onto the Panzer 3 there, by looks of things. Interesting.
So now he's
changes it for the changes it for the building instead at the last second, and going to be bringing in another one. to do the same thing. The nice thing about these IL-2 M3s with the 50-kilogram bombs, yeah, they don't do much damage, but they reload super fast.
Oh my god, yeah. They're in like 2 minutes later, they're back. It's actually very oppressive after a while.
There's absolutely no AA on the field so far from Gonzo. He just brought up the Gepard there.
Yeah, I would say that's actually
prevent this.
Yeah, it's one of the few kind of weaknesses of 26. Their AA is kind of lackluster. They have the FAMO, and I'm not a huge fan of those because they run out of ammo after like 3 planes. It's kind of bad. And otherwise you're stuck with 20 mils. So they can struggle in the anti-air department.
It looks like that Onord is just going to try and take care of this, but we're seeing him do this again. Something we've seen Onord do before, where he just kind of forgets to evac the planes after he's used them.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle.
Weird bad habits.
I mean, he could be trying to waste the Gepard's ammo. That's possible, because that Gepard's never going to actually damage his IL-2. He can fly in a circle for the rest of the game, and this thing wouldn't kill it. So, I mean, it is possible, but now he's changing where it's going. I don't... yeah, very strange. Now, I will say Gonzo is... I mean, it's still 15-9, but Gonzo is definitely making back a lot of ground, and Onord's push is slowing because he's running into some of these open areas that is... He can no longer push through these open grounds.
Yeah, after the initial kind of
rush
back from Onord, Gonzo has kind of stabilized for a little bit, and all he really needs to do is get in positions where he can cut off the reinforcing roads with his like MGs, and then these descents aren't getting anywhere. So like on this bottom side, he's slowly weighting down the remainder of these Stemaviki, and you know, if he gets a couple of Panzer guns on his bottom side, he could probably clean those up. He's got the Grilla on the way with the Panzer 3L to support as well, so he might clean up that bottom sooner than later. Mid, though, going to be a little bit more difficult, since as long as, you know, Onord micros his reinforcing road to the top side of this town, he should be okay to get reinforcements in there. The trouble is, if he keeps bringing them down this like main middle road, Gonzo can eventually start firing on that reinforcement road, which can be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, and Gonzo can kind of swing his central position here up into the town, like just bypass the whole town area and like go up through the 2 middle flags into those woods there. We do have the Gepard. That's not going to stop an IL-2. It's not even going to sort of stop it. 20 mils kind of make me so sad.
Well, for their cost, you know,
they're cheap. I get that, and they're for killing planes. But they just don't stop them at all. It's very frustrating.
IL-2 though didn't even go for the bombing strike in the end.
Very strange. Grilla taking some pot shots at the reinforcements coming in. These Grillas out in these open areas are just so dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Panzergrens and Pioneers, they're just going to be pushing across the open, and they're quite happy to do so with the support of the Grilla. On the bottom side, Desant Niki DT going to be bumping into some Pioneers. It's going to be a good engagement for Gonzo. I feel like Onord might be a little bit like overextending here on the bottom side, but maybe feels the pressure to make more ground. I'm not entirely sure why though. Grilla, though, down in the middle. Zistu, good job there.
Yeah, that's really important that he kills those Grillas off, because they really are... They can be so devastating and just do so much damage to those really key supporting units for Onord. He needs these Zistus to survive, because truthfully, in a long game, 26th wins. I mean, in a long game, I don't see how 26th does not outgrind 3rd VDV. Eventually their AT dies and your tanks just start to dominate the game.
Absolutely. On the bottom side, the successful IL-2 strike does allow the Desant Niki to actually surrender the Pioneer that would otherwise have beaten them. So a nice little strike there from Onord. And he is still sitting at this 16-8, and
just pushed back.
Gonzo only has 9 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, Gonzo did stabilize to a 14-10, and then it kind of, with this southern flag pushback, he took that back. Also, up north, if we look, actually, as Shermaviki has kind of snuck up onto this flag in that little forest there. And that's where he's getting that extra there.
But it's definitely starting to tick down these tickets quite quickly.
T-34 gets M42 gets a nice gun jam on that Panzer 3. That is a pretty fabulous crit. Fuckwolf coming in to kill that M42. Those are so good. M42s are amazing. If you have them in your division, you should be using them.
This too. Looking for the Panzer 3 in the middle. Hasn't had its APCR turned off though, so the Panzer 3 should be okay to survive at least a couple shots there. Kilo, meanwhile, taking out the Maxim. Valentines are on the field for Onord.
We are into Phase B, so both these players getting that 170-point income. It's up to Onord to seal the deal on his push here, and it's up to Gonzo to counter and bring it back to at least parity.
So he's got his better infantry in now. We've moved into Phase B, and the Stoss Troop Beretta coming out. So he's going to have a reasonable amount of availability of these.
He should get 12.
Opt to bring them in Phase A.
He should get 12.
And that should allow him to clean out the town quite nicely, because they have the 150-meter SMGs, and they will completely outclass Descents.
Oh, they're so good. This unit is one of the main reasons 26th is a little bit better than 20th. This singular unit. It's just so strong. Just watch him delete.
Niki DT on the bottom side with the Panzer 3 and the Pioneer. Niki DT is actually doing a reasonably good amount of damage there at distance, but with another Stoss Troop Beretta coming in, it should be able to clean them out. It looks like this might just be the key unit that Gonzo needs to really fully stabilize his front line.
This is 26 CQ unit. Like, this is it. Although 3 DT machine guns still does a lot of damage. Now, we did see up north Desanika DT getting pushed back by these Stoss troops. That extra 50-meter range makes all the difference with these guys. It's really crazy how much that matters.
Absolutely. Also, the closer you get,
it's more accurate.
Benefiting from the accuracy, and therefore you're doing more damage. It's just compounds on top of it.
And I will say, I feel like Onord's holding on to these flags by the skin of his teeth. Like, if you look in the center town, both those flags are actually right on the edge. All Gonzo needs to do is shift a little bit to pull those back into his own control.
On the bottom side, Onord's actually decided to bring in the 85 mil. I could understand if the Focke-Wulf strikes were being more effective, but honestly, they're only taking out cheap infantry squads, so not entirely sure what the reason is there, but Gepards do manage to stop one of the IL-2 strikes into the middle. The second one manages to get through. You can see that Gonzo there specifically targeted the first IL-2 that came in to try and shoot that down with the 2 there.
Yeah, we do see Gonzo pulling it back to a 1410, which he absolutely needs to stem the bleeding. Up north, Sturmoviki Rocks pushing pretty far through, but that does mean he lost control of the flag now because the Sturmoviki Rocks pushed so far forward. And he's going to run into these MG34 Panzergrens, and they should be able to easily do a lot of damage to these guys.
Yeah, Stoss Troop Beretta going to be moving back towards them. Those that they're going to be trying to clean them up. More Panzergrens coming in, a lot more Panzergrens for that top side. More Stoss Troop Beretta for the town engagement in the mid as well will help clean things up, especially these like descents. Just needs to get them out of the way, and Onord, he's going to bring in more of his own descents to just get into this town, but I don't know if they're going to be able to beat these Stoss Troop.
No, but with the support of the 120 mil, these are very strong with their radio mortars. These are actually quite annoying to deal with. If he can keep that Komroti alive, because that's supplying the only radio here, if he keeps that alive, then he can really start doing some damage. Now, if he lets this thing die, that's going to be actually a pretty huge loss, because he'll lose his radio.
Yeah. Also, he has opted to bring in the smoke off map, so that's on its way. But further back, he's actually got the 203 mil artillery.
Ooh.
That's an interesting choice.
That's a big mama right there.
Yeah, I understand the 120 mil mortars. Like in a team game, for example, you definitely use them a lot to get advantage and also lay smoke. So I don't know why you'd bring in the off map or the 203 when the 120 mil can do both.
So he did lose that leader up front. Now he does have another, but it's further back, and that does make a difference. It means he can't really hit those way back targets. And I will say we have a Jagdpanzer 4 here from Gonzo kind of blocking out, killed at least one of those Valentines in the center there. And that Jagdpanzer 4, outside of the Zis 2s, is basically invulnerable to almost everything in Onord's deck.
Yeah, and the Zis 2s are definitely limited in number, so as soon as they get killed off, then Onord's having a really bad time in the open.
Yeah, and actually, outside of APCR range, I don't even think a Zis 2 can really penetrate a Jagdpanzer with any consistency.
No, you definitely have to ambush and get side shots. Panzer IV takes out another Valentine in the middle.
And we see...
Let's see if this artillery... I don't know if it's that... That must... I think that is the smoke.
Is it really? Let's... you can't tell. Why bring the smoke in there, though? Like, what would be the point?
Well, maybe for the descents here, that he's fast moving up.
But wouldn't you... I would probably put it, like, right at the edge of the town to stop all these Berettas and Panzer IVs from seeing into the town, I would think. But I guess...
Well, you wouldn't want to smoke the Berettas because technically it would give the Berettas an advantage.
So he is smoking there, you are correct. The Panzergrens, though, are in a position and they're killing these Desaniki before they even get out of the transports. Oh, no.
2 of them already down.
Yeah.
The third one's going to want to unload, or that's going to go down as well. This is the big problem that you have with like these smoke off maps, is they can be very inconsistent with the placement of the smoke. And sometimes it leaves gaps, and those gaps are particularly easy to exploit with units such as Panzergrens. In the middle, Grilla going to be getting some good hits towards these OB-25s. Meanwhile, on the bottom, though, T-34's making some waves against these close-range infantry. Might allow the Sturmoviki Rocks to get into the forest. That could be difficult for Gonzo to deal with.
Yeah, both those OB-25s going down to 1 Grilla shot in the middle there. This T-34, though, is very vulnerable to this Panzer III. And if this Jagdpanzer IV decides to swing south, it has no chance against that.
Yeah, I think the T-34 has done the job it needs to, though, in pretty much escorting the Sturmoviki into this heavy cover.
The ZIS-2 in the center goes down, which basically opens up the entire center for all of this armor that Gonzo has actually built up over this time. IL-2 AT tank buster coming in, but there are now 3 Gepards, and this might finally be enough to force this thing off. It looks like it will.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the mid, things have completely collapsed for Onord. His reinforcing infantry did get cleaned up pretty quick, although saying that, Onord did just take out a unit of Panzergrens before they unloaded, so that was nice. OB-25 going to be trying its best against the Jagdpanzer IV, but that's not going to do anything.
Yeah, 37 mil goes down in the center, so now Onord's lost his AA, and there's actually nothing there. I mean, Gonzo's wiped out all his infantry. I mean, Onord's just kind of melted. Yeah.
I think what ended up happening here was he invested in this off-map, 100 points. He invested in the 203 mil artillery, 150 points.
Oh no.
That's 250 points of artillery.
I'm sorry, I'm watching the BF-109 hit the B-4203 like strafe.
Yeah, it won't kill it. It will never ever kill it in one run. It's technically a vehicle, so it'll take two strafes.
This was very ballsy to move this thing so far up.
Yeah, I don't know what Onord's doing with this. It's really weird. It's such an odd choice. And as I said, it was 250 points going into artillery, which probably should have gone into infantry.
Yeah, and 250 points of infantry in 3rd VDV is a lot of infantry.
It is. The descents are like 20 points each.
15.
DT.
The normal ones, the Desaniki, are 15 points only.
Yeah.
T-34 versus Panzer III, they're both bouncing, but finally the T-34-76 goes down, and that's even more. This is really crumbled apart for Onord. We're to a 13-11 with Gonzo now in the driver's seat.
Sturmoviki on the bottom side are sitting really in the forest there. Those Panzergrens aren't ever really going to be able to do anything to dislodge those, but he doesn't really need to. Just needs to continue to gain ground in the center here. Smoke's coming down again for the next Desaniki push coming from Onord, but again, it might just be a little bit out of position by the time he gets there.
Yeah, it's so hard to time that. And also, we're about to leave the Maverick income. We're about to hit C phase, which means that making serious pushes becomes much, much more difficult.
Focke-Wulf bombing strikes coming in to help deal with the Sturmoviki on the bottom side, and a nice bomb there.
Yeah.
Takes out the squad in one hit.
T-34 takes out the Panzer III there, and it's disappointing because he brought that 85 in to stop that from happening, and it still happened.
Jagdpanzer looks like the 203 mil. Maybe he was thinking of it as an answer for this heavier armor, but it never is. He doesn't have enough time in a 1v1 to be arting heavy armor to death. Like, it's just not going to work. That Desaniki, it
did unload.
Was blocked by the smoke.
Yeah.
It's like the Molotov got thrown over the smoke. There wasn't any direct fire going on there. But as soon as it comes into range, they're going to be trading.
The damage out of those Berettas is just so incredible.
Considering they have much less numbers,
yeah,
able to trade like that is really, really nice.
Yeah, that is truly like one of the best units out of 26th. IL-4 coming in now. Onord continuing to build his Air Force and letting his IL-2s kind of fly around without even bombing anything. Really
He's bombing his own unit, though. Yeah. It was like just off target there. He was targeting the Stostra Beretta that was there before, but didn't change the order afterwards. Pioneer in the open, going to take some bombs to the face, and these aircraft have been okay throughout the game, but now there's just a lot of AA building up.
Yeah, I will. We see our first FAMO coming in, so that will really actually start to shut down the air game from Onord. Stostrup down south, take out the Desaniki, grabbing that southern flag that was actually giving Onord another tick, you know, the 1311. Onord really needs to try to pick up one more flag and finish this game, because like I said, the longer this goes, I don't see how Onord gets back into it if he doesn't grab something.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try and take some more ground on the top side of the map, but all that Gonzo really needs to do on the top is line up his Panzer Grands, line up a couple MGs, and just wait. Like, Onord's going to have to push across the open eventually, so when he tries to, that's just going to be over. But SU-76 going down in the mid, Onord also lost a transport before it unloaded, so he is just making mistakes here, and it's not getting any better.
No. And this armor, as this 2 taking shots at that Jagdpanzer 4, unfortunately it misses the first shot, which I understand is the most frustrating thing, because it has very little chance of beating it otherwise. And now this Panzer 4 is going to get involved too, and this thing's actually going to really chunk the damage because of that higher HE. 2 IL-2s coming in. They should...
These Jagdpanzers, they probably won't penetrate in the front armor.
No.
As long as Gonzo keeps them faced, it should be fine. The biggest trouble you have with like these IL-237s coming in is sometimes they can force your Jagdpanzer to fall back or whatever, and then it will turn side armor.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the ZIS-2 already died though to the Panzer 4, so then unfortunately for Onord that threat's already gone. The 203 wipes out an SDKFZ and a couple troops in the infantry. I don't think this 120 mil has really done a lot of damage. I haven't noticed it really killing anything key. The thing is, too, he's using Gepards and stuff, so you really can't AA snipe those things as long as Gonzo keeps it moving. He's never going to catch it.
Yeah, that's what Gonzo's just been doing the whole time. Anytime something is targeted by artillery, he's been moving it. There's been a couple times when the 203 has got a couple shots close to the Jagdpanzer, but otherwise, yeah, not much. Now the FAMO coming in is going to definitely just shore up that AA, so IL-2 is not going to get anywhere near.
And here in the middle, the Pioneer finally getting into that little patch of forest. It should be able to beat that Desaniki, no problem, especially with another Panzergren coming, although that might die to that 45 mil. God, those things are so great. But now the Panzer 4 has seen those, so that thing should die quite quickly.
Here comes the Grilla shot. Actually misses. The 45 mil will eventually go down. There it goes. And the Pioneers and Panzergrens are happy to make more ground across the open. Still only 13 to 11. Still probably a lot of time on the clock to get this game finished. But
look at it go.
There is so much ground here to be gained for Gonzo. Not really much in his way anymore, other than these like artillery pieces. And there's another ZIS-2 creeping up. Have to see if that can get some damage done. But there's just very limited ways at this point in the game for the 3rd Panzer to really come back, and it really relies... Yeah, 3rd VDV. really relies on a lot of smoke to get the Desaniki close, but he didn't really build up the correct artillery. Like, I don't think that the off-map is a reliable way to use smoke in this division. It's more just for a meme effect, and team games it can be great for making huge walls if you have all 3 of them. But otherwise, like the 120s, they can just do both. I still don't understand like the artillery. I don't like the artillery choices here.
I get the 203. Like a singular big artillery early in the game can really pay off in the long run if used well. The off map, confuses me as well. But I mean, instead he could have bought 2 more 120s and maybe that would have been a lot more, because it's not like he's even using the range on the 203 to reach stuff in the back. He's using it to fire at things in the front line. So 3 120 mortars would have done way more damage than that 1-203. We have a bomber out of the 26th. I'm not the Alciona. Just killing a Desaniki there. It's a big bomber.
Yeah, very nice. There's this 2's under fire from the Gila now as well, although it did manage to take out the Panzer. Focke-Wulf finds its way onto the back of the IL-2. Nice play there.
That's a big kill for him. It's actually
bottom side. It looks like the infantry has been cleaned out, and the 85 is going to go down. So that removes the one unit that was stopping the Focke-Wulf bombing strikes from coming in on the bottom side.
Yeah, we see the BF-109s trying to chase down some of these IL-2s. Once he clears some of this Air Force out, then Onord really doesn't have much to hold it back anymore. We see Gonzo pushing very aggressively with his Panzer IVs, and there's no reason not to. They're only 35 points, and they can do a ton of damage against all these soft targets. We see a T-34-76 going down in the middle. I don't even know what it died to. Probably the Panzer III, I would assume. I mean, Onord he's holding on. I gotta give him credit.
Yeah, he is, but
flag-wise, he's holding on. If you look at the map, it looks like Gonzo should be up 15-9, but it's 12-12.
And the double Panzergren trying to push on the bottom side. IL-2s are trying to target it, but lost line of sight. So they're not going to be able to kill those targets. IL-4 completely misses a bombing strike as well. Gonzo, I think here his plan is just to cut off this entire bottom side to get himself back to this 15-9, and so far so good.
Now, we did see a Grilla and a Jagdpanzer IV go down. That 203 killing that Jagdpanzer IV finally.
Yeah, it finally got something done. Nothing that the 120 mil mortars couldn't have already done.
Your disdain for this 203 is hilarious.
It's just such a waste. It really is. Like, it's a 120 mil mortars, 90 points, and they're just so much better.
I love me some big artillery from time to time, but I do 100% agree with you. The right choice would probably have just been more of these 120s.
I think if you get 3 of them on the field, it's the sort of critical mass that you need to get some seriously damaging artillery strikes onto your opponent.
Now, Zis-2 does take out a Gepard in the middle.
Yeah, things are surely been picked off here in the center.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzo's definitely got I mean, it's really just these 2 infantry units that are holding these 2 center flags for him. You know, making that 16. Now, if he moves these Panzergrens down south and cuts off these Desaniki, he should be good, but he's keeping them a little far back, although this other Panzergren here will stop them when they try to cross the road, so that's big.
If it has enough time on target, it will, but I'm not sure. Like, at least one of those Desants is going to be able to get into the trees on the other side.
Oh, yeah. I will say he must have brought a B-phase car to these Panzer IV F1s, and he's really using them. I mean, for 35 points, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, they're nice at close range with the hit. Well, like, not even need to be at close range technically, but for the accuracy you do. The heat round can be really effective against things like these T-34s. But the HE shell there with the 2.2 damage is really what makes these strong, helping the support against enemy infantry.
Oh, yeah. And it can't be understated. They are only 35 points. Like, you're getting a relatively, well-armed tank for only 35 points, which is quite good.
A bit of an odd bombing strike there.
Yeah.
He, like, fire positioned it past the Pioneers. Bit odd. Anyway, Panzergrens getting forced out of this cover on the bottom side. One of them's trying to fall back, doesn't end up falling back towards the desk, and thankfully turns around. But he will still be able to hold on to this flag for the time being if he keeps the half tracks close enough. The Desant's not going to be able to do anything about that unless they get within the 100-meter range, and as soon as they do get close to that flag, well, they're just going to get mown down by MG fire.
Yeah, up north, Gonzo's kind of pushed back into his original little town there. All he needs to do is take out these Sturmoviki rocks that keep grabbing this flag here randomly. And then he'll be in a really strong position. We saw the off-map smoke go down to get some of those Desants into closer range there. We see an IL-2 coming in, trying to take out some of this. I'd assume the Jagdpanzer IV, it would appear. We lost sight of it, though. And all these half-tracks now. This is what a C-phase card of half-tracks look like, and it can be very effective these days.
The 259s coming onto the field late will make a lot of a difference here against these Desant squads, especially the Sturmoviki as well. He can use that to find them. if he chooses to do so. On the bottom side, however, Panzer does take out the T-34-76. So that removes that medium armor that was helping support these descents and keep those Panzergrenadiers out of the heavy cover. IL-2 bombing strike in the middle, nicely done. Does take out a lot of those Panzergrenadiers, so he's going to be forced to fall those back. And the descents have got closer to another Panzergrenadier there, so starting to get a little bit of value out of this infantry, but it would have been nice to see more infantry sooner, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he lightened up his infantry game a little too much during B phase. You know, focused on bringing out too much support stuff, which is not usually an issue, but if you let your opponent get too far. And here's the issue with the FAMO as well. So we can see the FAMO's just sitting there out of ammo because they just get so little ammo. Like, you actually have to bring more ammo in this division because FAMOs eat it up, and you need it for your artillery. You actually get really good artillery, just it's very limited. Up north, this Desaniki DT grabbing this flag here. It's a little cheeky grab, but it's still 16-8 despite that. As we see Gonzo pushing forward. Yeah, pushing forward this SDKFZ 250/9 up north. Until that T-34 gets there, this thing will be actually really dangerous.
Panzer IV being charged. Desaniki DT, though, not going to be able to get there. I don't think the Desaniki DT have any way to kill the Panzer IV anyway, so
no,
but Gonzo didn't have to worry.
Oh, Oppo Blitz munition goes down, and Gonzo actually, like I said, really needed that to turn his AA back on.
Yep. Nice little kill there. Zis-2 does go down, however. I'm not sure if that's like the best trade. Those Zis-2s are quite valuable. Panzer IV might end up dying to the OB-25. Just one penetration from that OB-25 will get the job done, but the Grilla is going to try and beat it to it, and it will. It's fallen back.
Those OB-25s feel way more accurate than the accuracy says they should be.
It didn't hit a single shot.
This time, I know this time, but I feel like in the 4 shots it has, it almost always runs into at least one hit.
Oh, well, that would be statistically accurate.
Ah, you're right, you're right. Yes, yes, yes. Good job, Vulcan.
IL-2 with the double strike there onto the Panzer IV is very nicely done. I think these IL-2s, in theory, if they're brought in en masse with like the IL-4 and maybe like the other IL-2 bombers, could really chew up a lot of this AA.
I think it has.
Just by going for it directly.
I think it and most of the armor, obviously. Once again, Onord letting an IL-4 fly around for no reason. We do see a 37 million, so Onord is getting a little bit of air cover back in for himself because he does need it. Not that these Focke-Wulfs are like changing the game significantly, but he does need them out of the way. These Desaniki in the south getting a little bit of a bubble for themselves there.
Yeah, they seem to have held out down there for some reason. But
they do have they have the Raider trait, so I would assume that's why.
Yeah, still 16-8 though, in favor of Gonzo. T-34 moved up on this top side. It forced the 259 to run for cover, but that has actually found the Desaniki DT there that was causing the salient. So that's now going to push the front line back in favor of Gonzo, and the salient will go in his favor as well, since he has the Panzergrenadiers on that very top side.
T-34, though, pushing down into that little town, going to surrender those Panzergrenadiers. Gonzo clearly not currently microing that part of the map. And unfortunately, these Panzergrenadiers have no AT. So he's sitting on a lot of AT-less infantry right now, which is definitely causing problems because Onord's still kind of abusing him with some of his T-34s.
Yeah, he's got the Jagdpanzer on the way to try and deal with that. He's going to be able to get one penetration. Will he be able to reload before Onord reverses it? Yes, he will.
Down it goes.
It's going to go down.
Yeah, and those are big kills, because remember, I mean, they're only getting 80 points a tick. Every one of those T-34s that dies, that's, I mean, they're 55 points, but that's basically a tick of income that you just killed.
Yep, so there goes the salient on the top side, way in favor of Gonzo this time. Desaniki, they do have, like, the close range advantage here, but it's more a matter of, like, if Gonzo can get like decent line of sight, if you jump back like a building or two and then like jump out to the side or something, you can sometimes get the job done. Or Desan, we've got the AT grenade on target, but didn't kill the Jagdpanzer.
Missed. Yeah, that's odd.
No, it didn't miss. It did hit.
Oh, did it hit?
Didn't do enough damage.
Huh. Ah, guess so. I thought those things were always a kill when you landed a hit.
Nope. IL-2 coming into the middle. Gepards going to be helping force that back with the Famo. And this mid control is massive now, because there's no Xis2s left at this point. It's just gone.
Yeah, that's bad. Do Jagdpanzers have 12 health?
I'm not sure.
Well, they'd have to, because otherwise that AT grenade would kill it, because it does 10 damage.
Yeah, maybe.
Huh, that's news
I have seen that happen before. Like, same with, like, obviously, Tigers and stuff will do survive those.
Well, they have 12 health, so one AT grenade shouldn't kill them, technically. But I didn't know Jagdpanzer...
It definitely hit there, you could see it hit.
Yeah, that's really strange. Could it have bounced it? I guess it could have bounced it. That's a possibility. But it has 300 millimeters of penetration. That doesn't seem... it seems not right.
It definitely didn't bounce.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into that one. Sorry.
Panzergrens in the mid. Gonna be moving up again with these half tracks. IL-2 coming in for the Panzergren.
IL-2, IL-4 is coming in.
Yeah, got IL-4s on the bottom side looking for the Jagdpanzer. If that gets pinned, then the T-34-76 has a chance to engage it. So that's what he's looking for there.
There he goes. There's no...
Stoviki are going to be putting pressure onto the Panzergrens in the meantime, going to be forcing them out of cover. And here we go, the charge. It's trying to keep on its side armor.
Oh,
Let's change target.
Oh, no.
45 in the mid, looking for the Famo kill.
That'd be big. Turret is stuck. I mean, he has the repair right there, but oh, down it goes. Big kill.
Yeah, that's nice. If he can get that 45 on target of these Gepards as well, that'd be big. But no, Gonzo's not going to let that happen. T-34 still not going for the Jagdpanzer. So a little bit of a missed opportunity there on the bottom side. 203 currently trying to land shots onto the Gila, but no radio for him to use. So it's just a really, really tough spot for Onord. He's just kind of ran out of stuff. It's already over.
Yeah, I mean, this is... Yeah. If they're definitely, like, run on fuse. The Jagdpanzer 4 finally back in action. Takes out that T-34 really easily. Yeah, you can see Onord just trying to claw to something, but he's so far down on flags now. And just so... If you look at the map, there's barely anything red on here at all.
259 does finally find that Desert Niki on the bottom side. Panzer 4 going to be engaging the 45. Without the APCR, the Panzer 4 should be okay. In theory.
I have absolute respect for these 45 mils. They're so dangerous.
Yeah, they can be. Absolutely. And Panzer 4 is going to go down. If it gets enough shot on target, it probably had like a 20-25% chance of penetration there onto the Panzer 4, so if the Panzer 4 isn't doing enough damage, didn't have its MGs on target, then it's not going to get anything done. IL-2 though, coming in with the strike, does take out the Gila. Takes out a Gepard as well, very nice.
Oh my. Now the Famo did get a good hit on that, so it's possible this thing will go down.
There's not enough fire left, I don't think. I mean, the Gepard might get the last spray off. Yep.
There it goes, yeah, see?
The last 20 mil round hits the back of it and it goes down.
It's because you said it.
Yeah, it is, exactly, because I said it. But yeah, that's what I feel like he could have been doing earlier with those IL-2s. Really just like force focusing those Gepards down, and because they can break through the Gepard 20 mil fire.
Oh yeah. And again, 26 doesn't have a ton of AA. Like, it really doesn't. You can't bring that much in. And when you start losing FAMOs and stuff, things that you can spiral out of control really fast.
Yeah.
But unfortunately
not really much infantry left in the front line here.
I don't think I've ever seen 3rd VDV run out of infantry, but it really looks like he did.
I think the issue that 3rd VDV has is its infantry is cheap. And what that means is that you get through it quickly, particularly if you're using a lot of it.
Well, he was doing...
But yeah, 39 minutes.
He was double starring it. He was double a lot of its infantry too, which really cuts down the availability.
Yeah. 39 minutes, 38 seconds. Gonzo is going to take the first game from Onord. Relatively close KD in the end. 3,555 kills, 3,395 losses. I think that comes down to the fact that Onord was starting to clear up a lot of the stuff at the end when it was already kind of too late.
I also think a lot of his units are just cheaper. So like if we look at the KD like lists, I have a feeling Gonzo's list is probably longer. Like he killed more stuff, but like it's all cheaper stuff.
Yeah, but if you check the Zis2 in the late game, that killed the Jagdpanzer, the Grille, the Gepard.
Oh yeah,
Panzer 4 killed 2 Opel Blitz.
Absolutely.
Like the IL 237s coming in, killing more Panzer 4s, Gepards, Grille, like the 45 killing the Famo, for example, and the Panzer 4. Like these are that's a lot of points to pick up in the last like 10 minutes of the game. So that's where a lot of that sort of points is coming from. Where before that point, like I would say Gonzo is like 1,000 kills plus the head.
Probably,
so,
yeah. You're very likely. I don't know what this Desaniki did. I don't know how it got so many kills. I didn't notice this hero here doing the work. Orloff, look at him go. 203 killed some stuff.
Just cleaning up on the top side.
Yeah, the 203 killed some stuff, but I don't think it actually paid itself off at the end of the day. Points wise, I think it was even or just a little short. Over on Gonzo's side here. That Stug M43 not doing the same amount of work it did in the other game we watched with it. Grilla, Focke-Wulf, yeah. Panzer 3 did quite a bit of damage. I think that one was down south. Maybe not. No, I think that was actually in the center. I think that was in the center towards the end of the game. Those Jagdpanzer 4s, though, they are so good against allied divisions. They're just so hard to kill.
Absolutely. There's not really many answers for Onord there, other than getting on top of them with Desaniki, but apparently that doesn't even work either. So we will leave it there for that game. That is game 1 going over to Gonzo. There is a best of 5, so Onord has plenty of time to bring back this series. But
very exciting.
Anything else you'd like to say?
No, great game to both players. I'm very excited for game 2. I think it's only going to get better.
All right, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Hit that like and subscribe button.
Goodbye.